We're back again with another mock draft. This time it is a 12-team league, PPR. We're picking from slot 1. You can see it right here. So we're not really going to beat around the bush. We're going to kick this thing off. As we go through, I'll talk about each pick. What are my options, who I'm considering, who I'm hoping falls to me, and how I attack a 12-team league. This is not a Superflex league. It's just one quarterback. So we'll play that as it goes. Here we go. First pick, I'm taking Ja'Marr Chase. I could consider Bijan Robinson, but I want that top wide receiver option. This year, 2025, there's a lot of good rookie running backs. And if you're going to find an edge, it's going to be rookie breakouts this year at running back. That's my guess. Last year, it was wide receivers. We knew Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, BTJ were all great wide receiver prospects last year, and those were league winners. I'm looking for the league winning running backs this year when I look at this year's draft class. So as I say that, I'm probably going to snag a running back here. And nothing that's happened so far looks too wild. Like I would have liked to have Trey McBride fall. Brock Bowers at the 112 is a little bit wild, but most of the time at the 101, your best bet is having Trey McBride fall back to you if you're looking to get a tight end. Here, I'm targeting JSN, great young ascending receiver, lead guy in his offense. I want someone that has a safe floor, and I think JSN does, and then I want someone with heavy upside. So I'm going to take JSN over someone like T. Higgins, who's just going to be the second option to Ja'Marr Chase. Second options on offenses don't often repeat greatness. So I'm not really betting on T. Higgins to repeat what he did last year. Having Ja'Marr Chase would not be a big difference maker in that decision for me. I kind of just think of players as little point scoring machines. You take all the inputs for that player and then they're going to score a bunch of points for you. Ja'Marr Chase has a great quarterback. He's on a good offense. T. Higgins is on a great offense and has a good quarterback. Them both being on my team doesn't actually change how many points they score. So that wouldn't really have changed my opinion. I'm going to go JSN here, and I'm probably going to go Kyren Williams because I feel safe with the floor of Kyren Williams, and I like his chance of being top 5 at his position compared to possibly Jonathan Taylor, who's had great weeks, but is also on a more spottier offense that could be going through a lot of changes this year. I feel safe with what I have with the Rams and Kyren. So I'm going to go Kyren and JSN. I'm shooting for guys that have a lot of production going through them. We feel safe with what they're going to do. And then they have a lot of upside. Kyren Williams can score a ton of touchdowns this year. The Rams just extended him a few hours ago as of this recording. I'm expecting him to still be a major part of their offense for the next 1 to 2 years. So right now, Sam Laporta is someone that I'm hoping falls to me, and he does. In a 12-team league, the oneer positions, quarterback, tight end, I really am only heavily favoring tight end. If you look at the top 12 tight ends, you want to have an advantage over the 12th ranked guy because the 12th ranked guy is usually not who's going to be tight end 12 going into the year. You know, someone like David Njoku, I think, is going around 12. Like that role could change. They've drafted someone to replace him. People are worried about his role in the offense depending on which quarterback is there. I don't really want that risk. I don't really want that decision. I don't really want that downside confusion. I'm just going to lock in with Sam Laporta and gain that edge over other people. And then for the other option here, I would consider Devonta Smith. Joe Mixon, I'm definitely not. David Montgomery, I'm a little bit out on, but there's a guy that I hope comes back to me at the 6-12 that we're going to try to get. So we're kind of hoping RJ Harvey falls to us or Caleb Johnson, rookie running back for the Steelers. I would also consider Omarion Hampton here. Actually, let's do this. So I feel safe that Hampton's going to have a pretty good role this year, and I'm looking for the breakouts. I'm going to go Hampton and Xavier Worthy at this spot. Xavier Worthy, I think, is just a little bit undervalued. Receivers working with Andy Reid typically have small roles in their first year. In week 1 of last year, we saw Xavier Worthy get some rushing touchdowns and then slowly get worked into other parts of the offense throughout the year. So he already had a role in the offense going into week 1, and that's not common for receivers working with Andy Reid. Going Xavier Worthy And I'm considering Sam Laporta here, but I think we can get Mark Andrews a little bit later, and I'm going to shoot for the upside of Omarion Hampton. So I would have been just as happy taking Laporta there. He goes at 506. I would like it if TJ Hawkinson fell back to us, but he rarely does. RJ Harvey would be a great option for us. Rookie running back, another one. So we're looking for these breakout options. We've got good floor with Chase, good floor with JSN, good floor with Kyren Williams. Here I'm considering if I didn't have Kyren Williams and I only had Hampton here, I would just take Swift. I would take Swift or Pollard and lock in solid RB2 production. DeAndre Swift, people love him or hate him or have had high expectations for him throughout his career. He's just consistently finished as a top 24 running back. So if I needed that floor, I would take that here. And I may even consider it looking at the other options. I'm probably going to take Mark Andrews as one of these because we didn't take Laporta. And then I would consider Swift, or I'm just going to shoot for mega upside with Odunze or Caleb Johnson. Odunze could be taking a much larger role in this offense as a second-year player, new head coach, Ben Johnson there. I'm expecting changes to the offense. So it's going to be Mark Andrews, and because I don't know if I could get another good running back, and it's easier to replace round 7, round 8 wide receiver production, I'm going to go Mark Andrews and Caleb Johnson here. And I'm not really super worried about ADP. Once you get into these later rounds, like you could take full round reaches to make sure you get your guy. If it's the right guy, it doesn't really matter. In a 12-team league where we're only starting 7 offensive roles and a kicker and a defense, like you really want to have a lot of upside swings. So that's what Caleb Johnson is. Mark Andrews feels like a safe floor option to me. We're hoping to see some breakouts from Hampton and Caleb Johnson. So in this spot, I would not be looking for Tyler Warren. He could be a breakout option for us, but it's not that likely. It's not really that common that rookie tight ends have big years. We've seen it with Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta in the last 2 years. Kyle Pitts was okay. He wasn't the top option. I think he was like tight end 8, 9, 10 his rookie year, and then kind of fell off. So at this spot, we've got 3 wide receivers. I'm going to shoot to hold Ricky Pearsall and Matthew Golden here. Like if Stephon Diggs hits, what's his ceiling? If he doesn't hit in week 1, I think people are going to kind of move off of him and move on. Here, I want either Pearsall or Matthew Golden, and we'll hold Matthew Golden through his rookie development phase. And then we're looking for quarterbacks. I'm going to scroll down and just see who's going to be available. At our next pick, we could rely on Jordan Love. He'd be a fine QB1 option. I think I'm going to go for Jordan Love and Justin Fields later, or Jordan Love and Drake May later. And just get these big upside options. That's what we're looking for. I want Golden and Pearsall. There's a ton of fluctuation happening with San Francisco's offense. Ayuk is injured. Jennings has been injured, is requested a trade. Ricky Pearsall's just on the team. And if they run out there with Purdy, Kittle, Pearsall, CMC, like that's enough to make a great offense. Shanahan can get guys open. I don't really worry a ton about what I saw from Pearsall last year. Like it is hard to recover from a gunshot injury. We don't really have any track record of what that has been or what that would look like. And here, the reason we don't take a quarterback in round 3 is because Dak Prescott is really good. When he hasn't been injured, when he finishes a year, he's just top 12. And a lot of the time, pretty often, he's top 6. So I'll take Dak here. This feels like a really safe high floor with a lot of upside. I'm going Dak. And then we're looking at how many more picks. Like I might go J.K. Dobbins here. We've seen Sean Payton use a lot of two running back operations in his career. So this year it could be RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, and that wouldn't surprise me. Dobbins wasn't bad last year. He just missed some time to injury and already kind of has that injury stink on him. So people are slow to trust him. But if we need him to fill in for 1 to 2 weeks, like we're hoping that it's Kyron, Hampton, Johnson. Of these guys who could become a tradable asset, maybe Tajay Spears. It's not Dallas Goedert. It's not really Jordan Love in a 1 quarterback league, and we got our quarterback. So it's probably like the only guy who could really gain a lot of value. Maybe Michael Pittman, if last year his performance last year was truly related to injuries. Like Pittman could gain some value. But if he's just a wide receiver 2 or 3, you don't really get much trade value. Like Dobbins, you could start pretty often if he's in the role that I think he'll be in Denver, which is the Mark Ingram role, the David Montgomery role in Detroit. Like there's a lot of career crossover between Sean Payton and what Dan Campbell does with the Lions, the 2 running back operations. When Dan Campbell was an interim head coach for Miami, I think they got rid of like Adam Gase or someone. Dan Campbell became the head coach there in an interim fashion and then went and worked under Sean Payton to continue to grow. So I would not be surprised. There's a lot of overlap, and I wouldn't be surprised if J.K. Dobbins had a pretty decent sized role with the Broncos. And if he doesn't, your 11th round pick is droppable after week 1. Here at pick 12, I'm looking for, is Drake May still available? Did we miss out on May? Caleb Williams, Purdy, Love, Stroud, Fields. Let's find him. Am I going crazy? Drake May. I guess he's gone. I'm sure if you're watching this, you see him. He went the pick before us. So I'm probably not making a big quarterback upside swing here. The only one I would really consider is Tua. People are really down on him because of injuries last year. When he plays, he's pretty good. So at this spot, I'll grab Tank Bigsby. I like taking a running back from an ambiguous situation. It could be ETN that is the lead guy. It could be Bashal Tutin who's here. I mean, is ETN available? Trevor Etienne is, but Travis Etienne is not. So I'm going to go Tank Bigsby. If he's in a larger role for Jacksonville, like if he takes on a spot like Bucky Irving for the Bucks, like we could see a lot of value rising there. I'm not really considering Nick Chubb at this spot for the opposite reason. And actually, I might just go Bashal Tutin or Zach Ertz or probably Tutin. Let's do some scanning for other guys that jump out as like could be really valuable. I would consider, I think I saw Jalen McMillan scored a lot of touchdowns late for Tampa last year. And now I think people are just worried that Godwin could be coming back or Emeka Ibuka could be taking on a larger role. But Jalen McMillan was kind of a slow developing player last year. And then the last 6 to 8 weeks was really, really good. Dylan Sampson could be a great option if he takes on a spot with Judkins out. I mean, let's go with that. We grab Tank Bigsby, we'll skip Bashal Tutin, and we'll go with Dylan Sampson. And if it doesn't work out early, that's okay to move on from him. For both of these guys, we're all 3 of these, Dobbins, Bigsby, Sampson. We're taking shots that we hope to see within the first 1 to 2 weeks. And then we have waiver wires guys that we're picking up, and these are the guys that we're dropping. So I'll let this run. Well, we're at the kicker defense. I don't really care about kickers or defenses. For the team, what we got was Jamar Chase, JSN, Xavier Worthy, Golden, Pearsall. We've got really solid option with Jamar Chase and JSN. Xavier Worthy, he had a great role last year. I think that's expanding, and we're looking for guys moving into expanding roles that could break out. Xavier Worthy, Matthew Golden, Ricky Pearsall, they could all be breakouts this year, and that's what you need as difference makers in a 12-team, 1-quarterback league. Same thing that we did with Omarion Hampton and Caleb Johnson. And then we have some guys like J.K. Dobbins, I'm hoping fills into a top 24 role with whatever he's doing in Denver. And if we need to find an RB2, like we can. We have a great RB1 in Kyron Williams. So this feels really solid. We've got tons of upside and good safe floor.